But one of the things that our friend over at Veeam, Jason Buffington, at JBuff on Twitter, I believe, shout out, one of his sayings is why BAS when you can DRaaS, right? So backup as a service, DR as a service, why BAS when you can DRaaS? They're very similar technologies. You're already sending data to the cloud for backup as a service. Why would you do that if you don't have the ability to spin those systems up? The spin up part is the key, as we've discussed here today, and it shouldn't be overlooked. When you talk about backup as a service only, you're limited to backing up, sending your backups. If you have to restore, if you have an outage, you must download all of that data first. You got to pull it back down to some system, and then you have to restore it. So your outage window goes from an hour or a couple hours into days or weeks potentially, right? It depends on the internet, it depends on the systems that you have available, et cetera. So as much as I love it, I'm going to let Stephen talk about enhanced data protection. We have a little graphic over here that sort of outlines what a perimeter from the backup server in our cloud area looks like. So can you walk us through this, Stephen?
Yeah, so basically the EDP data, or enhanced data protection is what we call it, is a copy that is outside of your repository that you do not have access to. The reason why you do not have access to it is because if you can get to it, malware or viruses or ransomware can get to it. So we do not provide you with access to this data. So whenever the data is cloned for 5 days, we keep it in a near gapped repository. And then whenever you do your test, we always spin you up from your EDP data. The reason for that is because we get you a test and we test your EDP data, which in a ransomware or a security event, that has saved our customers' businesses more than once. Probably about 10 to 20 times, customers' data was gone. So EDP has been a lifesaver and for our customers and their businesses. So we don't provide you access. When we test from your EDP data to verify functionality. So just know that whenever you do request a test, 90% of the time, it's going to be from your EDP data. You should also be able to log into your quality portal and or your status emails to verify if you have EDP. If you do not have EDP, please reach out to your sales rep to get that added today.
Yeah, we can do that really easily for you. The other thing to consider, everything is great from this perspective, but what if nobody's watching the monitors and the screens and the control gauges and all that? So a lot of times this activity can be detected if you're using the appropriate systems. If you're using intelligent log gathering and log parsing, you have the correct antivirus in place, you have the procedures and the team in place. And when we talk about as a service, not everybody has the ability to staff cybersecurity experts. We have some very good ones, and we do work 24/7. So if you've got cybersecurity incidents happening in the middle of the night, we can be there to alert you for that. And that's very important in the whole scheme of things, right? So we talked about patching. Regular checkups, both on the cybersecurity and the DRaaS level, are important. It kind of goes in line with testing. Stephen talked about testing your backups, testing your DR spin-ups. You just kind of want to give your environment a checkup. Look through everything, look through your settings, make sure that your current systems and technologies are up to scale with what's going on in the world today. What got you here won't get you there, right? The stuff that we design for and design against to protect against today may be obsolete a year from now. Cyber technology and the bad actors get more and more creative. So we constantly have to improve not only our cybersecurity practices, but your disaster recovery practices. Make sure your business impact analysis is up to date, your call trees, et cetera. You just don't ever want to get behind the 8 ball on things like this and find out in the middle of a disaster while your building's burning down that you don't know who's supposed to have called the backup, your disaster recovery company. Make sure you're keeping your DRaaS provider updated changes as well. Anything else you want to highlight here, Stephen?
The only thing I can really highlight is the importance of security as a service and a 24-hour SOC. I mean, if you get something malicious on your servers, you want somebody there to monitor your systems via the SIM programs to catch these bad actors, to catch these bad login attempts. Call you immediately on your cell phone if they do detect something, which not only is business continuity and disaster recovery a good investment, but it also pairs well with security as a service. I mean, you want to stop them from getting into your systems in the first place, before they can do something malicious. So I would reach out to your sales reps to see if to work out with them and get data privacy security team involved and see if we can't get you a good solution if you don't already have one in place.